Melody that captures the austerity and simplicity of the Himalayan kingdom. A melody so pure that it will undoubtedly make you happy and mend your hearts. This popular traditional folk song of Nepal, called Resham Firiri, is as heartfelt and calming as the charming tiny nation of Nepal nested in the Himalayas. This mountain song originated in the villages of Pokhara, located in central Nepal, and was composed by the renowned Nepali musician, singer, and artist Buddhi Bahadur Pariyar. It's hard to translate this song in English, but the song predominantly talks about the simplicity of mountain life and a love story born in the mountains. Buddhi Pariyar himself was from the village of Pokhara, and one day, on his long way to attend a wedding, he felt tired and sat down under a tree. Overlooking the water and lush green nature around him, he got the inspiration to write this tender love story. Hello. This is Shilpa, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Folk. Hope all of you are doing well and staying safe. On my end, well, it has been a bit of a shaky start to the year. There have been some medical emergencies in the family since the first week of January, but not just the family crisis. The way certain events have been going on around me and the world in general hasn't been pleasant either. Many families and individuals are seeing worsening effects every day. In fact, a friend of mine recently lost her job, proving that even though we may not think these events affect us, they do. They stress us out and bring on heaps of uncertainty about our lives, our future. But, as they say, the show must go on. We need to wake up every day, go to work, take care of our family, and carry on with life. And for that, we need some driving force, some little pockets of happiness, something that assures us that at the end of the day, things will work out somehow. Stories truly have that magical power. They can uplift us and, most importantly, make us more humane. With Folk, it has been my aim to bring to you some fascinating folktales from different cultures of the world that celebrate life and the diversity of the world. In this otherwise divided world, these stories bind us together, make us one. And in today's episode, one such story is ready to touch your hearts, all the way from a nature-kissed Himalayan kingdom, Nepal. Located in the lap of the Himalayas, Nepal is a landlocked country in South Asia. Officially called the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal, this small, mountain-wrapped, beautiful nation shares borders with China, to the north, and India to the south, east, and west. Kathmandu is the country's capital and also the largest city. People primarily speak in Nepali language, which has descended from Sanskrit. However, varieties of Tibetan language are also spoken, mainly in the north of the higher Himalayan region. Nepal is home to 8 of the world's 10 tallest mountains, including the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, and therefore is a must visit place for trekkers, mountaineers, and of course, adventure sports lovers. Around the year, Nepal attracts a significant number of tourists, making tourism the largest industry of this country and generating a significant portion of foreign exchange and revenue for their economy. The existence of this country travels back to many centuries. In fact, there is reference of Nepal in Indian Vedic texts dating back to the 4th century AD. There is a reason it is considered one of the oldest countries in Asia. Interestingly, this country has never been formally colonized by any other country, but it did serve as a buffer state between Imperial China and British India, and has significant influence from colonial powers of its neighboring countries. Since Vedic period, Hinduism has been the predominant religion in Nepal. In fact, Lord Shiva is still considered the guardian deity of Nepal, both culturally and religiously. Nepal has long been recognized as the abode of Lord Shiva. And the reverence for him remains deeply embedded in the country's spiritual and national identity. It is believed that Lord Shiva resides in Nepal in the form of Pashupatinath to protect the land. Pashupati means Lord of the animals, indicating that Shiva is the protector of all beings, including humans. In the Pashupati form, Shiva has 5 faces. Each face of Pashupatinath represents a different aspect of Lord Shiva and is associated with a direction. One of Shiva's most revered abodes, the Pashupatinath temple, is situated on the bank of the Bagmati river here and is considered one of the most important places for Hindu pilgrimage. The temple was classified as a World Heritage Site in 1979. Buddhism, on the other hand, is another significant religion here. Nepal is the birthplace of Lord Buddha. Buddhism in Nepal started spreading since the reign of the great Emperor Ashoka through Indian and Tibetan missionaries. Around the middle of the 1st millennium BC, Siddhartha Gautama Buddha was born in Lumbini in southern Nepal, thus opening a new horizon for the spread of Buddhism in the upcoming many years in Nepal and the bordering countries. Today, this nation proudly celebrates and shares multiple festivals and traditions that harmoniously binds Hinduism and Buddhism together. Nepal has been ruled by several dynasties, each leaving a significant impact on its history, culture, and politics. From Gopal dynasty, the first known rulers of Nepal who ruled the land between 1500 BCE to 1000 BCE and were basically cowherders, to Malla dynasty between 1200 CE to 1769 CE, which is considered the golden age of Nepalese culture, art, and architecture, to the Rana rule between 1846 to 1951, when Nepal had hit its all-time low, both socially and economically, and was isolated from the rest of the world. This little country has seen it all in every shape and form. And not just ruling clans. Nepal is also home to over 125 ethnic communities, each with their own unique languages, traditions, and cultural practices. A country so old, diverse, spiritual, and layered is bound to have a very rich folk culture. Nepal's folklore likely predates written history and has evolved through pre-Vedic animism, cultures of different ruling clans, Hinduism, Buddhism, and other religious influences, indigenous and ethnic tribal traditions, and of course, Himalayan myths and mysteries. A common mountain tale that probably all trekkers coming to Nepal know is the story of Yeti, a mythical ape-like creature that is said to live in the Himalayas. Wrapped in so much diversity, Nepali folk tales has something to offer for everyone. In today's episode, I bring to you a Newari folktale. Newar is one of the most significant ethnic groups of Nepal. They are considered the original inhabitants of the Kathmandu Valley and have one of the richest storytelling traditions. Today's story goes way back to the 11th century AD. Time of the rule of King Bhakardeva in Kathmandu. This story is about his youngest son, Kesh Chandra. Kesh Chandra is credited to have constructed Itambahel, also known as Itambaha, one of the largest and oldest Buddhist monasteries in Kathmandu. In fact, the full name of Itambahel is, are you ready for this? Shri Bhaskar Deva Samskarita Kesh Chandra Krit Paravarth Mahavihara. Whew, that was a mouthful. It also has a shorter name. It's called Kesh Chandra Mahavihara in short as well. Beside the main plot of today's story, it also indicates how the idea about building this monastery actually germinated. So I promise the story is going to be an interesting one. Kesh Chandra also used to live in Itambahel and was an out-and-out gambler. He used to play Pasa, an ancient game of throwing twin dice, just like they do in casinos these days. There came a point when Kesh lost everything to his vice, gambling. He was literally penniless. After losing everything, he had no other option but to take shelter in his sister's house, who was married to a rich man and lived in a place close by called Tamil. This was the beginning of a series of following events, giving birth to a story edged in the rich folktale tapestry of Nepal. So Kesh's sister, very happy to see him, welcomed him and served him food on a gold plate. Kesh's greed and desperate attempt to come out of his financial crisis took precedence. After dinner, he stole the gold dish. Clearly, he did not think twice before doing this, of course, and went away with it to gamble. And he lost. Next day, his sister understood what had happened and was very angry. But Kesh begged for forgiveness, and his kind-hearted sister forgave him. Out of love, she again served him food, this time on a silver plate. Crippled by greed and due to desperate need for money, he stole this one too. But fate didn't seem to be on his side at all, and he lost again. Defeated and ashamed, he went back to apologize to his sister. He knew very well that he had betrayed his sister not once, but twice now. His sister was extremely angry. She yelled at him and abused him for the sick habit of gambling. But she took pity and gave him food again, this time on a bronze plate. And history repeated itself. He took the bronze plate too and once again lost it to gambling. He felt hopeless, but he had nowhere to go, nothing to eat, and none to help him. He had no other option but to return to his sister again. His sister was speechless. She was so angry that this time, although she gave him food, she did not serve him on any plate. The meal was served directly on the floor. Kesh Chandra felt extremely humiliated and sad. He was ashamed but helpless too. He decided to leave the town. He couldn't eat but didn't want to waste the food either, so he collected all the food in a piece of cloth and went into the woods. Kesh Chandra walked for long hours and after a point felt extremely tired. He sat down under a tree and felt hungry. But when he unwrapped his food tied in that piece of cloth, he found that the food was all rotten and infested with maggots. He was extremely sad. Kesh thought of spreading the food under the sun in hope of releasing the maggots. Distressed, tired, and hungry, he went off to sleep while his food remained openly laid under the sun. Upon waking up, he discovered a strange thing. A group of pigeons had eaten his food. Kesh was shattered. He just couldn't hold his hunger anymore and burst out crying. He was famished and crying made it worse, so he became unconscious. The pigeons who ate his food saw this from a distance and felt very sorry for him. They thought of helping the poor soul. Their help came in a unique way. While Kesh Chandra was still unconscious, they came and pooped in the same place where the food was laid out. But this was not their usual poop. Their droppings had miraculously transformed into a huge amount of gold nuggets. Kesh was in absolute disbelief. Overwhelmed with this unexpected fortune, he couldn't hold his excitement. Once he gathered himself a little bit, Kesh started pondering on how to carry all this gold back into the town because it was a huge pile and undoubtedly very heavy. Meanwhile, a demon called Guru Mappa a man-eating vicious giant came out from inside the dense jungle as he was drawn by human smell. He started to threaten Kesh. Scared for his own life, Kesh Chandra tried to calm him down and make him his confidant by calling him his uncle and friend. A very close friend, actually. And a friend never kills another friend, right? So this trick actually worked. He was successful in calming Guru Mappa down and also convinced him to help in carrying the gold back to the town. In exchange for his favor, the demon asked that he be allowed to live in the town and be fed every day. Kesh Chandra immediately agreed without even a second thought. He, in fact, asked the demon to stay in his house as long as he wanted. Kesh returned to the town with the newfound treasure and a giant demon. It is believed that with this gold, Kesh Chandra had built Ithambehel, the iconic monastery that I mentioned at the very beginning of this story. Kesh Chandra got back his long-lost reputation and started living a respectful and peaceful life, while the demon Guru Mappa was living in the basement of his house. After some time had passed though, Guru Mappa's demonic nature resurfaced. He needed his real food, human meat. Although Kesh Chandra provided a huge amount of food every day, it wouldn't satisfy him. Guru Mappa started stealing small kids from the neighborhood and eating them. This became a huge reason of concern for Kesh Chandra and the neighbors. A lot of families started losing their beloved kids, and they were ready to do anything to stop this. But they didn't have any solution. With time, Guru Mappa became more aggressive, and kids from the surrounding neighborhood also started becoming the victims of his uncontrollable hunger for human meat. Seeing all these and dreading the safety of everyone around, the community decided to take him out of the town. They spent several days praying before they finally faced the demon. They presented Guru Mappa with a grand feast and made a deal. They said once every year they would feed him 1 buffalo, 90 liters of rice, black lentils, and 84 other different tasty dishes if he agreed to leave them in peace and go away from the town. Guru Mappa somehow agreed to their proposal and permanently moved away to a place called Tinkia, which in current day is known as Tundikhel, a large green open field in Kathmandu, Nepal. Finally, Ithambehel, Kesh Chandra, and the people of the entire area, especially the kids, were saved. Even today, during the Festival of Colors, Holi, local people prepare a grand feast and make an offering to Guru Mappa on the same Tundikhel field. The tradition of this age-old pact still continues. In fact, this is more than just a tradition today. It's a way for Nepali people to remember their ancestors and their stories that have stitched together many generations now and have shaped their rich cultural tapestry. The tale of Kesh Chandra and Guru Mappa is deeply rooted in the folklore of the Newar community in Kathmandu. While it holds significant cultural importance locally and even in entire Nepal, not many people know the story outside Nepal. And that's exactly why I decided to feature it in this episode of O Folk. That's all for now. Hey, what do you think about O Folk? Are you enjoying learning about the different countries and their unique folk tales? Is there anything maybe you don't like? You can let me know all of your feedback on OFolk's social media handles. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter or X by the same name. So search up by OFolk and you can reach me. Keep supporting and keep listening to OFolk on any of your preferred pod platforms. OFolk is on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, and many others. Please, please, please share this podcast with everyone around you, friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, everyone. Take care of yourself and join me in the next episode of yet another story filled, fact filled folktale storytelling trip. Until next time, take care and wish you all out there a very, very good health and good vibes.